Hi, I'm Janis from JBMTHINKS Sports Parenting, coach's wife for 28 years and sports mom for 21. Just dropped my husband off at the football game again tonight, and I'm here a little early, so I thought I'd hang out and talk to you guys for a few minutes before I go in and watch the pregame stuff. Just watching people walk in here has reminded me of the expectations that I often had before a game, coming into the football game or the basketball game or the volleyball game or the softball game with expectations like, oh, how's my child going to do, and how they're, how much playing time are they going to get, and this kind of thing. And I just remember those times when my child sat the bench way too much for my liking and for theirs. And first of all, let me go on record saying, when they're little, this should not even be an issue. I firmly believe that small children in sports should all be playing, and however that works out, but they all need to be playing and getting a chance to do well. But as you get into middle school and high school, that's not going to be the case. Your kid is going to have to fight for playing time, and there's going to be times maybe when your child ends up sitting on the bench more than they want or than you want. So when that happens, it's hard to watch. I've been through it with all three of my kids. It's hard to watch. But let me tell you that there's a couple things I want you to know when this happens. Two things to remember when this happens to you parents. The first thing is, you have got to let this be your child's battle. This is not your battle. This is your child's battle. You cannot go out and fight and yell at the coach and manipulate and fight for their playing time. This has got to be your child's battle, period. You hear me? It's your child's battle, not yours. Now, you can have conversations at home if they need help in, like, well, how do I talk to my coach, or what do I say? Have those conversations with them. Yes, support them, talk to them about it. But ultimately, it's him or her out there fighting the battle. It's not you, and they have got to learn to do that without you interfering, rescuing them, or running interference for them. So that's the first thing. The second thing to remember is that just because they are on the bench does not mean that they're not an important part of the team. Now, I'm going to tell you that people said that to me, or I heard that when my kids were struggling. When my son was playing backup quarterback his junior year and hardly saw any time on the field, when I heard those comments, I was like, yeah, sure. I was very cynical about it, and I said, oh yeah, that's just what they're just saying that to make me feel good or try to pacify the fact that my son's not playing much. And I think sometimes that's the way we take it, because we're like, sure, whatever. I was cynical about it, but I want you to know that as I've seen my kids grow through these, I see that now. And let me give you an example. When my son went to college, he was backup quarterback, and he hardly played much at all in his college, but his role on the team as a leader was very evident. My daughter, when she was in high school, she was playing basketball her senior year. She had been a starter her junior year, but she wasn't a starter her senior year. And so, she was on the bench more than she wanted to. And so it would have been easy to be cynical about that and say, well, they don't need her on the team, and why is she even playing? But her role on that team, even from the bench, even though she was on the bench more than she wanted, her role as a leader and an influencer and an encourager was huge. I saw it. And then my other daughter, who played softball all the way through college, when she was in high school, she played on an elite traveling team that they went across the country to play in the Nationals. She played 1 inning in 7 games. What? What's that all about? Well, this is the deal. She may have been the third string catcher, but she was the bullpen catcher, and her role was very important. And she knew that, and she saw that. Each one of my kids, even though it was very hard to learn, and it may not have happened immediately, it may took them a while to fully understand and learn this, but their role was very much a part of the team, even though they weren't in the game all the time, or even though they were on the bench more than they wanted to. Their role was still very important for that team. And so if you help your child understand that this is not just a nice little pat answer, oh, they're still an important part of the team. No, this is real. They have a role on that team and they need to be there. And so help them see the importance of their role and help them understand their role. And this is something that they will probably grow into and understand as they get older. It may not be easy right away, but help them understand that even though they're not the star, even though they're not out there all the time, they do have an important role on that team. And it may not always be the one that they think they want, being out on the court or the field all the time, but it's still very, very important. So if your child is on the bench way more than you want, remember these two things. It's their fight, and help them see and understand that they have a very important role, even if they're not playing as much as they want. I know it's not easy. Believe me, I understand how hard it is, but these are important things that you need to remember to help your child have a positive youth sports experience. Have a great week, and remember to be part of the Positive Sports Parenting Tribe.